Right now. All right. And I have that thing real quick. Welcome to the show. Sorry, guys. I suck at everything. Players mess up. But I have that thing where you kind of like connect the dots in your head and you read stuff. And so, like, people's names that I read off my channel, I always get wrong. I know that your name isn't this, but I really want your name to be Drew Davies for some reason, or like Davis or that. I wanted, like, I saw, I was like,
Daviis. That
yeah,
sounds so fancy. I like that.
I
That
know. When I read it, I was
sounds like a
like,
classic.
but I was like, I know that's not his name.
Oh
I gotta
man,
tell him that's what I
what a
wish it
letdown.
was.
I'm sorry, man. It's just Davis. I'm like the bologna sandwich eating guy. Drew Davies. Now that's a steak dude. That's a Outback.
And you see, that could be
Actually,
your like stage
time
name, like, hi, I'm Drew Davies and shit like that. I don't
it
know.
could. Well, if I already made Drew Davis
It made me
steak
think
thing.
of
Wow,
like the
stage
Adam
name. But
Sandler Eight Crazy Nights, like Davey Boy some shit. Oh wait, I
yeah.
forgot to do the intro. Let me do the intro. We'll get started. All right, again, this is Drew Davis, not Davies. Man, if I could get this I'm not good at this stuff. I should probably not do this stuff. That would
Can I just
be.
say that intro song was fantastic? I felt like we were coming out to some wrestling match kind of stuff, man.
Are
Like
you a wrestling
I was
fan?
pumped. I mean, like, not really anymore. So here's the thing: I used to be a huge wrestling fan, and then I took it way personally when The Rock left years and years ago from wrestling. I know he's come back and stuff like that. So at that time, I just kind of dropped interest as well. But I keep up a little bit. Like my older brother watches it, so it's still cool. It's fun. I never got why people hated on wrestling so much.
You kind of you. It sounds like we're kindred spirits a little bit. My grandmother, everybody on my father's grandmother's side were like for real wrestling addicts. Like, and I was a Hulk Hogan nerd back in the day and all that. But I'm like you. I was a really big fan in the '90s, and I
Right.
like all the old documentaries and stuff. And so I pay for like the WWE network like once a year, watch WrestleMania, watch all the cool documentaries and stuff. And they went with Peacock, and I already paid for Peacock, so I'm like, okay. And that Rock stuff happened, and it kind of started getting good.
Yeah, it's and I'm sorry if um
You there? Can you hear me? We're having technical difficulties.
oh, there you are. You're looking good, and I can hear you in coherent sentences. So
Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna have technical difficulties. We might have to do a little bit of editing. I'm not a big fan of editing, so we might just. Yesterday, I did an interview with Kelly. Can you hear me still? This thing.
I don't know if this is on my end or yours.
I hope it's not my end. Is it? Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Okay, I do have you again.
Yeah, me
Or
again.
yep. Sorry about that. This is the best podcast interview anyone's ever heard, probably.
Yeah, I don't care. It's the way it goes. Who cares? Like I was saying yesterday, I interviewed Kelly. I always mess up her last name too. Zemeckis, but it's not Zemeckis.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I know her well, but I feel like we're connected on social media because you're right. The last name is what gave it away.
I spilled my entire cup of coffee as soon as the interview started. And she's like, "You want to go into the coffee? You want to clean that?" I was like, "No, I don't want to. I don't want to clean that right now."
A good
She's
start.
like, "You're
Yeah,
just gonna let it go?" I was like, "No, I'm a completionist. If I start cleaning that thing, I will have to finish it completely. The whole thing will grind. I'll just have to let it go." And I was like, I could see, I was like, the coffee slowly creeping towards me. I was like, I have some paper towels right here, so I threw some paper towels at the thing, and I was like, I can't go any farther than that. If I do I have to get down and keep going. It was killing me inside just a little bit. All right, I'm so sorry for. Hopefully, the technical difficulty will stop. Maybe it'll start to. Everything will start to combine and everything. But I was watching your comedy. I found you absolutely hilarious. Well, crap. Now I'm spacing on the jokes.
thanks, man.
No. I mean, I'm spacing them because I had, like, you said something. I was like, oh my. Chick-fil-A joke. That was I want, like, do you find a lot of like things like pulling, because I'm trying to find this wording properly, not to offend you per se, but not to like to get it like out there.
I'm actually very hard to offend, so you'll.
Well, I don't
probably
mean you per se because you seem like a genius. I'm saying to like say it because the way I'm going to title this or word it, like I don't want to upset anybody else, but I believe in God, but I don't really believe in Jesus. I believe like that's where we all kind of get. There's a Buddha, there's a Jesus, there's who's ever the Muslim. There's everybody gets like messed up when we get to that other thing. But there's a God everywhere, and I'm super blessed in my life, and I don't even want to get down to that or do anything like that. But do you find a lot of like things like seem to pull you away or mess with your comp? You're like, oh, I can't say this, I can't do that. Is that why you like kind of backed off and quit being a youth pastor? And I'm glad you didn't touch those kids.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for. It's always nice to be appreciated.
That might have been the one I was talking about. It just took a second to click.
So I have a pretty boring transition in that like I was doing youth ministry and comedy, and then I just decided to go full force comedy. There wasn't like a thing in the church that bothered me, or I didn't feel like I couldn't be who I was on. I mean, when I was a youth pastor, there was certain things I didn't like post, or certain bits and stuff like that I didn't do because my big thing is I work mostly clean because I have a face for clean. People don't, when I try to be like crass or offensive, it makes women uncomfortable. And I just learned that years ago. So like my demographic really is trying to work mostly clean. And that is my humor. But I personally, I don't mind, jokes that are dark or crass jokes or cursing. Occasionally, even in some of my bits at comedy clubs and stuff, people will see me curse a little bit if it's like not like an exclusively clean show. My big thing is I don't like being offensive. Like I don't like punching down, or like my goal is like everyone who comes to my shows, I want them to enjoy themselves. I want them to have fun. I hate maybe it's part of my people pleasing nature, but I hate the idea that someone leaves my show and like feels like they had their feelings hurt by something I said. And sometimes that's out of our control. Like one time I was at a show in Huntsville and the comedian, he started doing a joke about how his cat had just died. And this drunk lady in the back something at him because her cat had died that day, and how dare he make jokes about that. Like, so sometimes I get offenses on the audience's side where like they can control. I mean, there's no way he would have known that. But I think sometimes people like comedians, it's easy to like the humor of the joke is actually at a people group or a person's behalf and stuff like that. So when I'm writing and working on jokes, sometimes I catch myself. That's the only kind of stuff I really don't like doing.
Right. So. I mean that can be said. I mean, speaking of cats and I go live on YouTube a lot. I hate to say it, but I'm a pretty big deal. Like when I go live, like it goes pretty big. And I got this beef going. I got this beef going with this. Well, I'm not getting into the whole beef, but one of the guys' cats just died, and he cried on screen about it. And then everybody started trolling him. And then he's like, I can't believe, and he's real ho-hum Eeyore type. And it's really like, I can't believe you would mess with me like that. I'm like, well, if you don't want that, like, that's not what this is. Like, people want to see it be, like, they don't want, like, I got my problems in my life, but I don't bring it to YouTube. People don't want to hear that. And I'm definitely
that seems like if you don't want mean random YouTube people trolling you, that seems like a terrible place to get on and cry online.
Oh,
like
this guy.
It's just a given that I mean, I guess this will technically be out on social media and stuff like that. So I don't mean, except for everyone that listens to your podcast, social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram is full of so many just rude trolls, and it's like part of the game.
No.
When I post something, like I know someone's gonna come at it.
We call them instead of subscribers, I call them master debaters. And instead of trolls, I call them BMGs, bitch made gobblers, because I don't like to use regular people words. I like to do my own stuff.
I like that. That's more creative. That's fun.
Yeah, and I didn't come up with bitch made. An actual a subscriber or somebody that was in the room is like, yeah, look, these bitch made something. I was like, yeah, bitch made gobblers. That's their name. Good job, dude. We're doing it now. And so that's just been their name ever since. But yeah, we have a lot of drama, a lot of fun. And this poor guy, like, I don't want to bring him up.
And it's festive for the Thanksgiving season. I like that.
Right? And do you enjoy my I'm going hardcore. I figure every day for for December, I'm gonna wear the Santa Claus thing, and maybe somebody will sit on my lap. Maybe,
man. It never know until
I don't
you
care
try.
at this age. I don't care who comes to sit on my lap. Like, let's just get it done. And real quick, how old do you think I am?
I was wondering that. I'm gonna, I was thinking you'd like be in the 40s and 50s. What are
41,
are you?
sir. 41. I lean
Look
into
at that.
65 because I look good for 65. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Tell
41.
people 65, but 41.
Yeah.
40, yeah,
My
you
poor
look
mom
great
is
for
like,
65.
what am I supposed to tell people? It's like, you should tell people you're like 45 or something. You should like.
Oh yeah, always shoot higher. Always shoot higher.
I always like you. I don't want to like let them down. Like if my penis comes up, I talk about how small it is, so that when they see it, they're like, okay,
Right.
it's not as bad.
Yeah,
as
they're
you
more
make it
impressed.
be.
They're like, yeah, that my whole first album was like that. It's called Revolutionizing Failure. It was all about lowering expectations and then like impressing people.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you have a comedy album out there and everything?
Yeah, I have two. I have the one from 2019, which was Revolutionizing Failure, and then I have one from last year, 2023, called $11 Jokes. And then if you go on my YouTube, I actually kind of have an unofficial third one because I did a 30-minute gig on my birthday with all stuff that hadn't been on either of the two albums, but it's less good quality, so I don't think we can call it an album. I mean, the jokes are actually probably better, but the video quality and stuff like that is.
Well, I don't think I've subscribed yet, but I'm going to subscribe to you. I was just looking. I'm terrible at that. Like one of the
Me
slogans
too.
for my channel is "Even players fuck up," and if you didn't know that, you're not a player. You might.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the game.
You might not
yeah.
get that because you're not really a player, but players mess up. It happens.
Yeah, no, I very much am not a player. I mean, maybe a little bit out of principle, but also probability as well. When the few times I've tried, the women be like, don't do that. So it's fine.
That was absolutely hilarious. Did you say out of principle, someone out of probability or what?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's out of probability.
I thought that's what I heard, but I didn't want to. That's what made me laugh. So, like, kind of like I see words the way I want to. I'm gonna go with what I hear.
Yeah,
like, I thought I heard that. That's hilarious. That's great. Out of principle, but also probability. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to like.
Yeah,
that's so lame. I don't want to be that guy.
Great, man. No. I love making people laugh. I'm loving that you enjoy it.
So what part of the great?
I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I feel you on the not being great at subscribing on YouTube. I frequently forget to, because I like to do resubscribes for people I know, and but I always check stuff on my phone, and I always forget to log on YouTube on my phone, and then I just don't. So, right. But
I have run into a problem.
You were asking me what part of the great.
Well, yeah, what part of the great? I don't think I know what part of the great nation you're from. I'm from the great country of Texas. So.
Yeah, the great. Yeah, I was something I was hoping we were talking about is your love for Texas, man. You were like, I was like, what time zone? You're like, the Texas time zone. I'm like, that's not on the choices. Like Texas is. I just was at Texas.
I'm not great at what you would call the math, man. I was hoping. I'm hoping. I need to start putting in my ads for like, hey, let's do a thing. Like, hey, I could definitely mess up the time. Like, be prepared for me having mistakes and shit, spilling coffee on the floor, not having everything together.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Be prepared for it not being all together.
It is what it is. It's totally fine. I'm from Tennessee though. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. So, and I've been here for most of my life. I've been other places occasionally, but Middle Tennessee and Nashville is for all purposes home. So,
dude, I have family in Tennessee. Please, I'm gonna get your links. I'm gonna share the stuff. And
yeah. Where in Tennessee is your family from? I don't know if you want to
believe
share
he was in White House, Tennessee. I'm not for sure if he's moved.
Yeah, that's like 30 minutes from where I'm at.
Yeah, so. He was in White House, but I'm not for because he got married a couple years ago. And I'm not for sure. I haven't gone to visit him in Tennessee. Like I haven't been to visit him since he got married, so I don't know if they moved from where they were.
Is it because he got married? Are you like me, where when your friends or family gets married, it's like a little bit of a death, and then when they have kids, it's like another death?
No, he was always a little bit of death. I love him to death. He was my. He's the reason. Like right here, I got Kiki tattooed on my arm.
Yeah,
he's one of the reasons I got a tattoo on my arm. This the lady that gave me that nickname passed away. But he like if you couldn't say Keenan when you were a kid, I'd tell him Kiki. He was one of the first people to call me Kiki. So we've been like bonded for life. But the guy is like lame as hell. His first Facebook name was Mortimus. His name was like Matt. His first Facebook name was I was like Mortimus. Hello, Mortimus.
I love
it. How you doing, Mortimus?
Sounds like he's big into Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
World of
he's real
Warcraft.
big into nerd. I called it World of Nerdcraft for him. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you doing Nerdcraft, bro? He's like, yeah, no, shut up, Keenan. It's Warcraft, man. It's what.
Mhm.
Although I do have to give him. He showed me how to like download movies legally for Pirate Bay. Like I gotta give it to him. He was like over at my house. He's like, oh, you want to watch the new Iron Man? I was like, you don't have Iron Man. That's out in the movie theaters. Like, we're watching on the Xbox. Like, you mother, show me how to do that, man. How do you do that, man?
That's funny. So, see, we need nerds. Dude, I'm a nerd. I probably have more in common with your cousin than you probably.
I got Batman tattooed on my chest, Thundercats on my arm, Thug Life on my belly, the chef from South Park on the back of my leg. I am very much a nerd.
Look at that, man. That's awesome.
Very much a nerd. Maybe not. I'll try to be that nerd that still wants to have sex, though. So
right, yeah. That makes you a poser. Real nerds choose games over sex. I don't know about that. That's probably that's probably not true.
That is good. No, because my first podcast was nerding out with my one black friend.
With your one black friend.
Well, that's what my joke is. My name is Keenan, so I have more than one black friend. But my first podcast, because we were like hanging out, we were talking some nerdy stuff. I was like, dude, I think this is a podcast, my man. I was like, let's get together and do it. But then, he's actually kind of a big deal. He does his own thing with his brother, Real Life Records, and so he had to dip out on what we were doing. But it was never like we were sitting there talking. I was like, dude, our stuff just isn't. There's 1,000 other people doing this on YouTube, man. Our stuff is not nerdy enough, and it's got. And my joke is that the girls that liked him didn't like me. The girls that like me didn't like him. We could never line it up. Like we went years without being able to seal the deal. Like going out and finding some ladies together, and just years. And finally, I was like, dude, I'm never doing this again. I'm never hanging out with you trying to get laid again, dude. This is stupid, man. This is stupid. But how long have you been doing comedy now? Like full time? Because I saw your thing, full time comedian.
Yeah,
left guy behind.
You guys would be terrible wingmen for each other.
Yeah, that's why we just stopped doing it. That's why I was like, dude, I could do like a 15-minute set on just stories of me and him failing to get laid together, dude.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, chicks dig guys who have podcasts. That's this is the aphrodisiac for all women. It's just when they see you up on YouTube with a big old mic in front of you, they're like, man.
I like how there's a big old mic in front of you, like big old mic right there, big old mic in front of you. Like it was a bit. What I like, there's this guy that I watch, Not Sam Wrestling. This guy's mic, he's like grabbing and moving around, pushing it. I was like, dude, if I touch my thing, the cord falls out. How do you get your shit hooked up like that, man?
Yeah. Pretty excited. I have a new mic coming in, but unfortunately, I ordered it like last week, and they just said like in eBay's like, yeah, we'll get to you on December 27th, and I was like, okay, I'm glad it wasn't a Christmas gift for someone, but I think it'll be a game changer for my sound quality.
Well, cool, man, cool. I do. Have you ever heard of the website Plausible?
I think I might have heard of it. I don't refresh my memory.
It's like an online comedy club. It's like Zoom, but it's made for comedians. It is Zoom, but it's made for comedians. It's not none of the other bullshit. People can come in, they can heckle you, they can sit in there, you can charge for paid shows. I'm doing
cool.
I'm doing a podcast there, like specifically every Wednesday night. I haven't figured out exactly what it's gonna be. I kind of just let my subscribers come over from YouTube and kind of like I work out my material and like we kind of talk together, gossip, do some shit. Nothing's really happened with that yet, but on the 18th, I'm doing an online comedy show of I think I've got 5 comedians of who I interviewed last month. I'd like to put together like a little roster every couple of months of like the people I've interviewed. So I would definitely love to reach out to you sometime and ask you to, once you get this mic situation figured out and everything,
Yeah, that'd be real cool. That let me get at me with some dates and we'll make it happen. Now Zoom Comedy Club, do you find that's at all fun for anybody? Like it always sounds a little weird. Like I did a little bit of pandemic Zoom comedy shows, but I didn't get super into it. But it feels weird because
I will give you my critique on it. I've watched, and this one's a little bit different than Zoom. It's completely made for comedians to where it's supposed to be like the people that come into your show are supposed to be able to sit there and be like sitting down like you're in a comedy club. And for somebody like me, I have MS. I'm disabled. I can't move around. I can't do stuff. But a lot of times it's like and right now I'm working out my jokes. So the more I can get on and like, that sounded real weird. Sorry, I'm burping my butter coffee right now. My bad.
It's all good.
But the more I
Let
can
'em
get
out,
on
man.
and where I live at, I can there's 2 open mics around me. And that's like Sunday and Tuesday. So I can get on twice a week. And a lot of times it's the same people. So it's like,
and they've
and I
heard
don't
your
have
jokes already, so it's hard to get it better to,
Yeah, and I'm trying to get I have a stack of jokes that are about the same that I just keep working on. I'm trying to get that type 5 and everything. So I think it has its place. And what I've noticed is like with Zoom comedy, they'll be like, all right, now welcome to the stage, so-and-so. And then he'll be like, yeah, yeah. And it'll just be him clapping. So my goal is to at least get, like I'm telling all my subscribers, like I said, I've got 33,000 subscribers on my YouTube. And like last night, I had 10,000 people in my stream talking to me. So if I can get at least like 5 people to show up at this show and to actually clap every time a comedian goes on stage and laugh at actual jokes, I think that's what's going to make it feel like a comedy thing. And
absolutely.
And there's barely anything going on there right now. And there's a huge void. So I think I'm just going to start doing like doing open mics every night kind of thing, and seeing if nobody shows up, nobody shows up. If it's just me alone, I talk to me alone all the time. So what do I care?
You're in good company, right?
Right. There's enough going on. The worst part is, like, I don't know if you noticed, I sometimes just ramble and just keep going. And especially since I do this YouTube live where it's just me looking at the phone, reading the comments, it's just me talking all the time. I can't really hold a real life conversation up anymore. Like my mom is like, Keenan, just shut up. I'm like, Mom, I can't. Let me just let me ramble. How about you shut up?
She thought she was coming into a conversation. You're like, no, this is a monologue.
That's what it is. Like even on like conversations I have with like real people off the thing, I'm like, yeah, I'm the star of this show too, unfortunately. I'm very sorry, but I can't turn it off.
It's your show. You're allowed to be the star of your own show. In fact, it's probably encouraged. People come listen to it because they're really more interested in you, but they like to see the guests you have and how you interact with them. You are the character.
Comedians, people like us, we're good at it because we're quick on our feet, and we can, riff with people real fast. So people come on my stream and like, they think they're gonna, the best one the best laugh I've had so far is I read out stuff that comes up like Ron Burgundy, and a lot of times you read their name and it's like Jess from Tyler or Kevin from Kentucky or whatever it is. They'll say something in there, and then they'll say whatever they're gonna say, and maybe it'll be nice or maybe it'll be some troll shit. This guy's name was Anne Frank Deserved It.
Oh man! Oh
yeah. So I'm going there. I'm reading out like, oh hey Bob, hey Robert, what's going on, Kevin? Blah 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 blah. Anne Frank deserved. Wait a second. Anne Frank didn't deserve. And now he's like, oh, you won't say my name? I was like, I'll say your name. I'm just like, I don't think Anne Frank deserved it, right? Or like these kids will call up saying the N-word. I'm like, dude, I'm 41-year-old white guy. You don't think I've heard the N-word before?
Right? No, yeah. Right.
What do y'all getting done? And y'all aren't even for real racist. I would love to take a call from a real racist, but you're not really racist.
No, they're just doing it for the shock value. So.
Yeah, and they're not shocking. They're not shocking.
Right. Also it's like really you try harder to be shocking. Like it's if you're gonna do something, do it well. That's the lesson there, even if it's something terrible.
I got with ChatGPT and put in a little information. And I came up with like 35 one-liners and sent it to those guys. And they're like, what's this? I was like, look, the calling me fat and N-word thing is only funny so far. I could care. Yeah, y'all could do whatever you want to all day, but let's at least make it try to be funny. It's like the first one is you look like Santa got fired and Santa got fired and hit rock bottom. Or your beard is held together by barbecue sauce.
That's a good one.
Well, I was like, you say like it's not the greatest, but if you say it, then I can at least figure something out. Like I need trolls because my little community starts fighting back and forth if they don't have somebody to hate on. They need somebody to hate on. I'm trying to get you.
I love that you're trying to empower you're trying to empower your trolls. You're helping them do what they do better. That's a real man of the people. Even the one that the rest of us are like, oh.
You don't have to say the acronym, but they're BMGs. You just say BMGs. You're trying to empower the BMGs. We're trying to get that to catch on. That's one of my slogans.
Love it.
So you doing
T-shirts coming soon.
Are you doing any more online stuff or doing anything, or is it your stuff just in person trying to get
most of my stuff is in person. That's the passion, the pride. I got into stand-up comedy to do stand-up comedy, but a couple years ago I kind of realized what everyone else has already realized, which is your online presence is just as important. Social media, YouTube. So last year I started a podcast called the Quarter Mile Podcast, and so it's a Fast and Furious themed movie rewatch podcast. So we just finished the first season where we covered all the Fast and Furious movies, and now we're doing movies that are kind of like connected vaguely to Fast and Furious that still have something to do with the plot or whatever.
All right, so they have to be vaguely connected. They're just not in that style. Because my first thought, have you watched Biker Boys yet?
I have not, but I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would love it.
Dude, I believe this is the one with Ice Cube. It is so bad. It's good. So bad. When you get to that point, when you get to the point of your seasons where we're getting more to the outside realm of Fast.
Right. That's cool. I gotta.
And I
love those movies. So I, being a comedian myself, in the way we talk about it, we often are finding things to make fun of it. And like, it's not so much we're like, I don't know, like we're all about positivity, empowering the creatives, but you can't watch a Fast and Furious movie and not make fun of what's on the screen. Like you're either in denial or like it's there, and that's part of the fun of it. So we have fun making jokes about it and stuff like that, but we still enjoy it. And then so I'm also with my own like comedy and stuff like that. I was actually gonna ask you a question here in a second. I am trying to get more online, get more stuff online. So what would you say is the best time of day to post like a YouTube short? Like I about every other day or so I put like a YouTube short out of my comedy.
All right, from what I've learned, and this is a quick little thing. I've been doing this for like 6 years, and I still know nothing. But from what I've learned is how I got my subscribers is I posted 90 Saturday Night Live, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, all those little short stuff because they want you to find a niche. They want you to find, and I knew I'm old. My comedy is going to be old. That's going to be bringing the sensibility that I want. So I started the game at like 30,000 subscribers because I just kept posting. If you got shorts, try to like amass as many as you can. Post like once a day at the very least, and then you figure out like what time's your best time. Like sometimes it's and if you have a thing, you get on YouTube Studio, it will look and give you like what time. Like mine is like they want me to post live. Like they want me to go live Mondays at like 6 o'clock, and they want me to post a video. Like they want me to post an interview video like this Mondays at like 4 o'clock. I'm like, dude, well, that's super. Why is that the only day y'all want me to post on and stuff like that? But then it switches around and does stuff. You just have to play your stuff out and see what it does.
Right, that's an odd time, yeah.
And I would say the most important thing is how you name it. Like right now, I'm naming things after like my podcasts have names after like almost taken away from like taken from other stuff. My wrestling thing, I call it Last WWE Tonight. So it's kind of like Last Week Tonight, but you got the WWE name in there, and it's got John Oliver, so it's kind of funny. But then I'm also going to put like Not Scam Wrestling because there's this guy that does Not Sam Wrestling. So maybe some people that'll pop in. And I know that's me being a fucking almost troll and a fucking – I'm sorry I'm cussing like over and over again. I can't talk about cussing. It doesn't feel like –
It's okay.
You got to piggyback on people. You got to find stuff that's worth. That's every person will tell you, like, find something that's going good and keep reposting it. Like if you like, I would suggest like the best thing I found is like you go to YouTube and just start looking through videos and seeing what's good, or what's popular, what I see over and over again. And you see something like that, do a video about you making fun of it. Like just you like, like if you got two phones or someplace you can play that in the background, like and then just you commented on it and stuff. And it doesn't matter if you can't move your head over their screen or some ghetto stuff like this. This is showing people how you can grow and how like this is kind of showing that hero's journey. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can help him become something, you know, like and that's and I like really and truly like it just depends like and if you like clean comedy, I would almost say like latch on to other clean comedy comics. Jim Gaffigan, Jerry Seinfeld, play stuff like that. You know, like one of the main things I do, I cut off. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that. So anytime I make any reference to anything gay at all, I put in not that there's anything wrong with that, and that gets like the weird right wing people. Oh, that was the joke. God, that's the joke. I don't know. That gets the weird right wing people say like, oh, now you have to say that. I was like, well, no, I'm saying that because it's stupid and it's a joke. Like, it's not.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with your sexuality. And it gets people like you. But real quick, what I thought is the mistaken racism. Somebody called you Taco Bell.
Yeah.
What I get is people that assume that I am racist. I was cashing a check one day, and it's like we're standing in line. It's like
right, because you look like
cashing line, and some old white guy comes up to me. He's like, I hate these people. I'm like, we are these people, man. What are you talking about, dude? And I get that all the time. Like, people would drop the N-bomb thinking that I'm okay with that stuff. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
All right. And I literally have to make that. Like, I had to make that decision right then. Like, do I like try to make a stand and teach this guy a racial lesson? Or do I like know that I'm not going to change anything in this guy's mind? He's going to be racist from right here till the day he was. So
right.
Like, yeah, can I just get my money, my man? Let's just get my money and go. But yeah, that's what I thought of when you said.
I like to act as confused as possible when people say racist or homophobic or bigoted things. I'm like, wait, I don't get it. They'll come up to you with a joke, or especially if sometimes like if I'm at a comedy show as a participant, and I always feel so bad when people are doing bad crowd work at me, where like they do a racist joke, nobody laughs. They point to me like, like you get it, right? And I'm just like, no, can you explain it to me? And the more you have them explain it to you, the more it's a great way to derail someone's set. Like just constantly like, no, I want to get it. I want to laugh. And then
right. I'm not a huge fan of crowd work. I don't like if it happens naturally. I'm all good with crowd work, but I don't like there's a thing on that plausible thing. That's the other thing. And plausible, there's a void of younger people. Like I was over there and they do workshops and stuff, and it's a place where you can like work out your jokes and stuff and like that. And that's what I really like. But there's this shop that's like you're supposed to work out a joke, and somebody said something about had to transition or made a transitioning joke, and somebody popped in and was like, but will people really know what transitioning is? And I was like, wait, guys, is it just because you don't know what transitioning is or what that means? Because my kid says it to me like 3 times a week. I feel like she's like, my friend transitioned the other day. Now we got to call her or him and blah, blah, blah. I'm like that's people understand that stuff now. But there's a void of younger comedians on that thing. And that's what I think I'm just going to like where there's a void, like that's where you got to start filling in. It's just like, you
honestly, oftentimes when there's a void, that's a great marketability area. Like this is what people need,
And the other thing is, I got an email what really made me blow up because I was at like 30,000 subscribers, but I could never get over like 450 watch hours per year. Like the very most, like for my podcast, like nobody, when you name stuff like, oh, my podcast is nerding out, this one's chatting out. No, none of that really matters. Comedians, your next favorite comedian, the comedian you didn't know existed, hidden gems, stuff like that. ChatGPT works wonders. But I got an email from YouTube, and I was lucky because I was already able to go live. But when you can go live vertically, they'll push your stuff out vertically. And I'm telling you, there's so much crap on YouTube Live vertically. It's my subscribers ask me like, hey, do you ever look at other people's lives? I'm like, yeah, I do, but it's very hard for me because I only see stuff I want to hate on, and I want to be that person that because I feel very
there's just so much useless content out there. But what's funny, but in this world, like in the world of social media right now, it almost seems like, and maybe this is just me being a critic, but the more useless and dumb and ridiculous the thing is, the bigger it'll pop. It's like when you see the stuff that really seems to click, you're like, that's weird.
See, that's how this whole beef with it, because I'm starting to like I don't like feeling like I'm not real or disingenuous. I hope that's the right word or the right phrasing of that word.
It works. I know what you mean.
All right, good. All right, well, I'm hoping to say the right damn thing, not just one person knows what I mean. But I tried to like when other subscribers or other people that have channels, I try to be respectful. Like, yeah, dude, you're doing great. You got 300 people, blah, blah, blah. You got this, you got that. I'm trying to be respectful and trying to promote them up and stuff. But then in the end, it's like, but do I really like their stuff? Is it less of me to like promote something that I don't really like, and I feel very not real, and I feel like I'm gonna give people, because in the end, that's why I got this beef with this dude now, because he just kept talking and kept talking. I was like, you know what? I think I've decided I don't like you. Like kind of like Tombstone moment. Doc Holliday to Johnny Ringo. I think I'm not gonna like you anymore, man. I'm sorry. Like I'm done. Like I tried very hard to be a cool person, but you just keep rubbing me the wrong way, and I just feel like
I mean, done. It makes sense. I mean, 9 out of 10 people we don't like, we just don't know them well enough. But there's still that 1 out of 10 people where once you get to know them better, you're like, nope, still don't like them.
I tried very hard, and you know, and I tried to promote you up, but I feel like I'm not my own self if I say something about you. Like I got this other kid that sends me music, and every time it sounds like SoundCloud. He's probably like a 16-year-old trying to like make some music, and I don't want to be mean to him, but every time it's like the same thing. It's like some Drake ho hum stuff that you can't tell any difference of. I'm like, dude, I hear your lyrics. Your lyrics are good. Like the beat's kind of good, but your music's too loud. The vocals are too low, and it all sounds the same. If you can figure out a way to make one higher, one lower, and stuff sound different, it'd be good. And I'm trying to help him out, but then finally, like this time he sent me like a suicide one where it's like kind of pumping up, and I want to be like, dude, I've said the same thing to you 5 times. Like your stuff has potential, but it's like, dude, just get it fucking together.
Right. At that point, since it's probably all online, you could probably just copy and paste the last thing you said.
Well, see, and I use like, and you said you like that chatting out the theme song. That theme song was inspired by another comedian that I interviewed on our platform right here. And one of the things I watched him was him doing the Pokemon song, like off the top of his head with just some group, like a catch them all, just going off. I was like, oh my God. Cause I do AI music, which is 3% of my talent and 97% AI. And for some reason that 3% of me makes the complete difference. I don't know why, but it just makes a difference. And that's I got like 3 more minutes of that damn song, my man. Like that's just, but yeah, when like that was inspired by that dude doing Pokemon. I was like, oh my, that's a song, that's our theme. Let's go, dude. Good job. He's gonna be on the comedy show on the 18th on Plausible, man.
Very cool.
I do hope you stop by, and I would love for you to like check it out and get more. I think you do it. There's a void of younger talent on there, and I think it'd help pump up your social media presence.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to check it out. I'm a big fan of shooting all the shots. You know, like I work with comedians and do comedy consulting and stuff like that. And one of the things I always tell newer comedians is like, do all the shows, like until you know for sure what your direction is. And I feel like oftentimes it's always changing and there's multiple directions, but like I'll do all the shows. I do weird shows. I do the stereotypical shows. Like I just it just
hold on.
We're here to make people laugh.
Your example of a weird show. I'm sorry, you can't just say I do weird shows.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. So man, I've performed from the bed of a pickup truck in a dog park in Chicago once. I've performed in front of 7 drunk women at a birthday party in their living room once. I performed at a boxing match a few months ago. That was weird.
Real quick, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but 7 drunk women.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
It was comedian. Was it a bachelor? Yeah. I want to hear more about this.
I'm trying to remember because I work whatever. Like if people hire me to do clean, most people just hire me to do comedy, and I just am naturally a little bit more cleaner than you. But so I can't remember if this one was exclusively a clean show, but I do remember this show very well because it was super weird. So it was like literally 7 women. They're all from all across the U.S., but they're good friends, and they get together every year for like a big birthday bash. So they were in Nashville. They hired a comedian to come to this condo that they rented. I felt like they hired me to be like a stripper. Like when you walk in there, like it feels like you're but it was they sat down in their living room. They're ready to hear jokes, except by the time I performed, they were incredibly drunk. And so what would happen is I'd do a joke, and then they would like have a conversation about it, and we kind of just turned it into a conversation. And then I do another joke and it's have a different conversation. And honestly, I feel like I probably only did about 15-30 minutes of actual material for like an hour and a half or 2 hours set. Like it was, because it was mostly just talking. But the thing I remember the most is, and I think you referenced this joke either before we were on air or maybe during, where I have that joke where I say, I used to be a youth pastor, I'm not, and I'll answer the 2 questions you're wondering. Yes, I still believe in God, and no, I didn't do that. And so when I did that joke, I got 4 out of the 7 women laughing. I could literally see their faces. 4 out of 7 of them laughed. 3 of them looked confused. One of them was like, oh, I don't get it. So her friend just leans over and explains it to her. She has to literally explain pedophilia and youth pastors to this sweet drunk woman. And then that woman was like, oh, youth pastors don't do that. And then across the living room table, a different lady was like, oh no, my youth pastor did. And so I had to just shift gears so quickly. I was like, oh, and I also used to be a cashier, and I jumped into that bit really quickly. Because it almost went from a comedy show. Yeah, it almost went from a comedy show to a therapy session.
That sounds like the worst crowd ever. 7 drunk women, like that sounds so loud. Like, but you probably got. I would have looked at it like I'm gonna tell a joke, and let's work on this material, ladies. Let's
do what we're gonna do. They were actually very nice. It wasn't like a super. Sometimes you do these corporate gigs where it's weird circumstances. They're not super fun, but like 1, they pay pretty well, and 2, they can still be fun. And sometimes you get something out of the show regardless. And so like one of those ladies lived in the Nashville area, and a few times from that weird random show, she followed me on social media, and she would bring friends to my real shows at like the comedy clubs and stuff like that. So like was it ideal? Absolutely not. But like whatever, we had fun. They paid me. Mission accomplished, so
they left their money on the dresser. Not a problem.
Right? Yeah, they were throwing money. I actually just recently did comedy at a burlesque show, and they really did throw money at you. So
nice. I did want to ask you this question. Before you became a comedian, did you find yourself, because I did things before I started trying to do jokes, which I now make jokes about, but I literally did it just for the story. So did you find yourself doing things just because like, oh, this seems like this is going to be a good story? Whether you're going to tell it to anybody or not, you're going to tell it to somebody.
I feel like I didn't intentionally do that. Now, after becoming a comedian, 100%, I would stick out bad dates because this is going to be a bit, or something like that. Like, but I do feel like just naturally in my life, find myself in situations that make for great stories later. Like just where I'm a naturally awkward person. So the world is naturally awkward. So you just kind of, it just happens.
You get awkward when there's awkward moments in movies, because that's how awkward I am.
I love those moments. I resonate with them.
No, like when there's an awkward, like say that there's like a boy going to try to kiss a girl, and it's not gonna, like, dude, don't do that. It's like
I've been there. Don't do it. Yeah. Yeah, I help out with a different podcast called the Movie Wars podcast, and if you can believe it, they watch movies that aren't Fast and Furious on their podcast. So I thought I brought in my.
You sound like an entertainment nerd, dude.
Yeah, 100%. I'm big, but when we watched American Psycho a few weeks ago, I was in such a bad mood when I watched that movie. For a little bit, I was like, I mean, it makes sense. He's not wrong. Like I was like, I get where he's coming from.
Can I let me use some of my entertainment stupid jokes on you from my baby.
Please
mama.
Do, yeah.
All right, I'm trying to be quick about it. We're in the car one day, and she's a music nerd. She loves music, and we hear the song, "Don't You Forget About Me." I put my hand up in the air.
Of course.
She's like, "What are you doing?" Breakfast Club. I'm putting my arm up, and like you don't know. And my hand's still up. My hand's still up the air the entire time I'm doing this. I'm trying to drive like Breakfast Club. What do you? So I know what you're talking about. Put your hand out. What do you? Stop. Like you've never seen the Breakfast Club? Like, oh my, John Hughes, Shermer, Illinois. Like, oh my God, all these. I start naming stuff off. She's like, can we just drive? Let's just go. Because anything I like is naturally fucking stupid.
Of course, so then, if you put your seal in
a couple weeks go by, could be a month, I don't know. But she comes to me like, "Have you heard anything about this Pretty in Pink? Have you seen this movie, like Pretty in Pink?" I'm like, "No, I've never seen Pretty in Pink. You should probably check that out, I guess." I don't know. She goes and watches, like, "Oh my God, it was so good. It was wonderful. I wonder if there's any more movies like that." I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you should check out this movie called The Breakfast Club. I don't know. So then she watched it and she goes like, I get why you stuck your arm up now. Oh my gosh. You're so lucky you're pretty. Or the movie Black Panther is coming out in theaters. And she says, I'm ready to go see Black Panther. I was like, all right, cool. I've already seen it. It's going to be great. She's like, well, you've already seen it? I'm like, well, yeah, I see all superhero movies without you. You don't stop talking the entire time. So, of course, it's like, wait, it's a superhero movie? Yeah. Yes, you thought it was about the Black Panther Party? It doesn't say a black, it's not titled Fred Thompson, the Memoirs of a Black Panther or something. It's called Black Panther. Have you not seen the stuff of it? She got extra mad, would not watch the movie for almost a year. We're in the hospital with my son getting born. The only movie available that she hasn't seen up there is Black Panther. She watches it. I swear to God, I still hear, what are those? Like, I knew you would like that, stupid. Oh, my God.
That's
so frustrating.
She thought it was about a literal Black Panther.
Yeah. She's like, wait, it's not about the Black Panther. She's like, no, it's not. Like, have you not seen any of the commercials? Like, I know you don't like it. Like, come on. Come on now. He's in a suit the entire time. What is it? I never wanted to hit something so pretty in my life. Like, I was just like, and it's not for anything like I can't believe I'm with you like that. Like, I can't believe I had a child with you. I hope my child doesn't take on these stupid ass traits for entertainment stupidity. If only she got it. If only you got it. But you, dude, I like learning more and more.
That's your job as a parent to make sure that it doesn't.
Before we do get off or anything or leave, like, how's the comedy scene in Tennessee? Do you find yourself like able to get on like multiple times a week? You know, because like I said, my comedy scene here is like 2 times a week.
So absolutely. Yeah, so I started in Nashville and I moved to Memphis for a little bit, but then I've kind of been on that comedy scene, but then I moved back to Nashville. Nashville's kind of, as far as bigger comedy scenes in Tennessee, Nashville's it. We got a few big names that moved here in the past decade, and it's really kind of helped the scene boom a little bit. It is getting a name for itself in clean comedy because Nate Bargatze is kind of building it up there, and I have a production group there and stuff like that. So like, especially for people that do want to work clean, Nashville's a pretty good space. But also, I say that, but it also has plenty of not clean comedy as well. So if you're ever here, there's a lot of open mics and shows. You can hit a lot. That was one of my favorite things about moving back to Nashville, because Memphis had a smaller scene. You know, we might have 3 or 4 rooms a week or whatever. And now I could, if I want to, get out basically every single night and do comedy.
Nice.
And I usually do about 5 or 6 nights a week. I've learned the importance of giving myself a night of non-comedy.
Nice. Yeah, no, you're on a second interview today. We're doing another interview at noon. I'm trying to get a bunch out the way before. I've only got to the 20th till my son gets off of school all the time. And
oh yeah.
When he's off of school, like, I can't do shit. That's why that's why I was like, I can go from 10 a.m. or 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. and then after 9 p.m. But then I got nothing, guys. I got nothing.
Yeah, no, I get that. And that's the correct answer. That's just spending time with your son is more important than these. As great as these podcasts are, that's more important.
Okay, no. My podcast and YouTube is way more important than my kid. Don't talk out. You don't know anything about my podcast. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing.
Okay. It is. Everyone on Earth.
Furious shit might not be more than my son, but this is no. I'm gonna have to check. I heard nothing about it. There was nothing. At least the stuff like I didn't click on, because I do like to watch videos and stuff when I'm getting prepared for these, just to see. I like to see more of the comedy stuff, because again, like a lot of I've watched a lot of interviews. I've seen a lot of Zoom comedy, or a lot of people go up, stuff online. I've just seen what I don't want to be. Like, I've seen these guys like, okay, so you're from this. What do you do there? Okay. Now let's start with the funny. Let's start being funny first and catch their attention, and then talk about everything else first. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So,
but I really like what you do, man. I'd love to catch up with you more. And like I said, love to check you out and come to Plausible sometimes. You can come in on a Sunday morning when you're not doing anything, dude. And we'll
shoot me a message or some details about it, and I'll try to make a point to come on. I've this year I've been doing a lot more of the virtual stuff. So
I'm definitely going to invite you on the next. Like I said, I pick out like 4 or 5, 6 comedians, and I say do 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't really matter. Like, and then I actually have another comedian. She does like comedy songs, and I was like, instead of you doing like 5 to 10 minutes straight up, what if you like I'm hosting but you like show up after each comedian. You like kind of play a song,
Yeah.
and then I'll show up. So
That'd
that
be
way it's
fun.
kind of moving back and forth because you know you got to keep attention. Kids today are fucking stupid. You know this. You were a youth minister for a long time, like trying to keep the youth of America. Like I said, I get kids calling me saying, that's what I need. I need to do a podcast with you, so these kids will be like, I got an ex-youth minister for you, stupid kids.
Ex-pastor. That sounds so creepy.
Yeah.
Like...
and he's here to touch your soul and your mind. Dude, I've got music for him. Dude, they come in saying the N-word. I went because since I do AI, I was like, I want a ska. No, I want one of those harmony songs where they just a cappella, they just sing like da ba doo doo boo boo, but it's all about like. And I told ChatGPT, I was like, I want all the Black history information that nobody knows. Like you're supposed to know, like you should have learned some other way. And it is like the most, like I'll send you some links to these things someday, man. But I mean, it's the most. They're bangers, man. They are bangers.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. But all right, we're gonna stop the podcast. I don't think I can get anything else out of this guy. I've drained him of all of his.
That's it.
Magic.
That was all my information. I have nothing left to give. It's all here.
Yeah, and I think I've gotten like the best that I could steal from him. You know, I don't think I can take anything more. So we're gonna see y'all next time. Remember, whatever happened to peace, cut it out. And because of him, I didn't do the flip. See, but then I did the flip off thing. See,
do the full thing. Your viewers want to see the full thing. Don't
they do? They want the slogans and everything. So, bye, guys.